Today I fucked up by adding too many tomatoes to most of my cooking. I'm half Indian, and most of the dishes I cook at home are Indian. For anybody unfamiliar with Indian cooking, many dishes are made with a base containing oil, garlic, ginger, onions, and tomatoes. A dish with 4 servings typically requires 2 to 3 medium tomatoes. Often, the tomatoes need to be cooked down or pureed, depending on whether the dish is served dry, that is to say, chunky, or gravy-based, that is to say, with a sauce-like base, but the magic bullet blender I have doesn't produce the smoothest tomato puree, and I typically prefer gravy-like curries instead of chunkier ones. Since fresh produce is expensive, I was using canned diced tomatoes until around a year ago, when I decided to try tomato paste, since it is already smooth in texture and just requires a little bit of water to make it more liquid. Why? I reasoned that since tomato paste cans are 6 ounces and a can of diced tomatoes is 15 ounces and contains 3 to 4 tomatoes, the paste cans were smaller because they contain the same amount of tomatoes, but far more condensed. Immediately, I noticed that my curries tasted overwhelmingly of tomato. I love tomatoes, but this was overpowering. I never remembered the tomato flavor being this strong in my cooking, but figured that something in the making of tomato paste made the tomatoes more ripe or sweet, and that's what I was tasting. Last night, after tasting almost 0 carrots and all tomatoes in a carrot curry I made, I finally Googled how many tomatoes are in a can of paste. Lo and behold, a 6-ounce can of tomato paste is made from 10 to 12 tomatoes. My jaw dropped. A year of tomato-flavored curries finally made sense. I now know to be more careful with my substitutions and actually check what appropriate substitution ratios are before proceeding with a recipe. Too long, did not read, assumed that canned diced tomatoes and tomato paste contain the same total amount of tomatoes.